You go into a finals game, you would like to think that you've got 25, 26 players automatically ready to select. If your 15th falls over, then your 25th can come into the side and not miss a beat. You don't want to be guessing in finals football because the heat's on, it's the big stage. Quite often there's no tomorrow and you cannot make mistakes. Finals football it's for keeps.
The AFL probe has already begun. Investigation Officer Max Croxford spent today viewing exclusive Channel 7 vision.
We all got reported on the Wednesday, I think it was. We've got a qualifying final on the Saturday. Footscray put an injunction. 2 players were reported. They could play, but their case was going to get heard on the Monday. And West Coast management and Mick thought, nah, let's get this over and done with. So we took it head on and we went to tribunal Friday afternoon. And we all got off, and then we've got to play 24 hours later. So our preparation week was just thrown right off.
If you are not preparing for a game of football early in the week, mentally, then you are running the risk of not being prepared on match day. We were very, very confident that all our boys would get off. And I've no fear of saying, had it been a Melbourne-based side, that would have been heard Monday or Tuesday and over and done with.
We always seem to be up against the AFL institution in terms of how fair things may or may not have been for us over here, and probably a lot of our thought process was that it's us and them.
From Perth, the 4th qualifying final on week 1 of the 1994 final series.
Hi everyone, welcome along to the WACA ground here in Perth for the 4th qualifying final. It's Collingwood against the West Coast Eagles. Collingwood coming off some bad form, and the West Coast Eagles coming off what was a tough week for them.
Well, the Collingwood game turns out to be that was probably the pivotal moment. Collingwood have probably always been a challenge for us. They matched up pretty well against us.
Jakovic goes back. Williams got real hands to it. Couldn't hang on. Kept superbly done. Great tackle. Woods half-forward. A lot of jousting down there from the side. McKenna though. Hassel takes a risk. Plays on. The kick not particularly good. Tranquilly. Kemp free. Alongside the centre circle. Here comes Lewis. Heading going. Up was held. Look at the free kick. Advantage is played. Kemp comes away. He's alongside the centre circle. Great kick. Bond is running onto it. Bond open goal. Eagles goal.
Off the one together, but Wilson's over 2. Then get the hand pass to Matera. Here goes Peter Matera. Weaving at his brilliant best from 50 metres. So back in the centre. The momentum there with Hines, but it's Kemp streaming clear of the centre. Ordinary kick, but it's gathered by Sumic. Sumic, a left foot, snaps the goal!
Just going to go to that side of the ground, and our ball brings it across the ground to Matera. Matera 65 metres out on lines. It's a massive goal. That could be the game breaker.
We played a really good 3 quarters against Collingwood, and maybe we just thought, let's save some energy for the rest of the final series in that last quarter, and we just thought we've done enough. They can't catch us now, but they stormed home.
Kemp, did he have it up, Maury? Let him play. With Bond and Francis. Great evasion, Tony Francis from 35. He's got it.
Here, Williams, after it hard was Brown, gets it back to Williams. Williams gets past Oswald. In goes Tranquilli. Till he missed from there. And Courtney's goal.
Look, there he goes, and that was bad. Lax marking.
That's his fifth.
The West Coast can only blame themselves if they lose this one.
We were hanging on for dear life. Another minute, I think we're gone.
I wasn't ever comfortable right through that game that any lead we had was big enough. There was always going to be a fight.
It must bounce nicely for McCartney, and he must kick a goal. If Collingwood are to be any chance, he must kick a goal, and he has. Magnificent stuff. Collingwood back in it with less than a minute.
Mickey McGuan was on the wing on Maney, and as Collingwood kicked a goal and kicked another goal, Mick would run back to the wing and make sure he gave me a mouthful every time he went past me about here we come, here we come, you're choking, your boys are choking. And I was a bit hamstrung. I couldn't give too much back because we were just hanging in there.
We just got to stay focused here and not get caught up in the sideshow.
Smart wearing, is it?
The clock is stopped at 13 seconds. Hassel will take the ball on the wing.
They were launching another attack going forward.
He was held by Made Waring.
They've got to get numbers back, West Coast.
We're down to 10 seconds.
When that ball came in, maybe Mickey McGuan wasn't concentrating because it was just a pretty easy chest mark.
Collingwood are going to hold inside the 50. Missed by McGuan. It comes to Jakovic. They dive in. It's all over. The siren will sound. McGuan had the half chance. Couldn't hang on. It's all over at the Wacker.
That was my one little window to give him something back verbally, which I took the opportunity to.
Ever so close.
Vicky McGuan was, he was the mouth. Even Shorey were the mouth of almost the competition, not just Collingwood. So I think Woosh just seen the opportunity to remind him of, what you dish out, you get back at some point in time.
That was a pretty tough chest mark, but that he didn't take.
Well, I'm sure that's what John was saying at the time there.
We were quite emotional. I was quite pent up with that. Yeah, absolutely shouldn't have happened. I would have, if I had known the siren was about to go, I would have done it 15 seconds earlier so that it was all done within the quarter. With everything that had been happening in the build-up, it showed we were on edge a bit and pretty pumped up about trying to make the most of 1994.
24 games into the season, I reckon a bit of fatigue was setting in, and it was my second year, and I probably wasn't playing the footy that I needed to at that point in time. I had the rest against Collingwood, and Rhino and I sitting in the stands watching them play.
Losing my spot was more around having a sore knee, so it wasn't so much being omitted out. I actually spoke to the club. I was struggling with a really sore knee. Yeah, I was really happy for the side. It was a fantastic game of football. The nerves were sort of creeping in, going, hang on, I may have slipped or missed my opportunity to play in finals here, because at the end of the game, you sort of start thinking, will they make any changes? Do you want to change a winning side?
Yeah, it was, not a good time to be out of the team.
Next up, the formidable task, the West Coast in Perth at the Wacker. Channel 9's Tony Jones accompanied the team to Perth.
This is Melbourne's first trip to Perth since the '92 season. And while the journey over was a fairly relaxed one, the Demons have flown into a storm. When Mick Malthouse declares a training session closed, he means just that. Every gap at Subiaco is covered over, and West Coast staff police it to perfection. But someone slipped, and Melbourne's chairman of selectors Greg Wells and football manager Richard Griffiths casually sat in the stands watching the Eagles train. Their cover was blown, however, and the Spires were ushered from the ground. Wells was claiming innocence.
Did you know that it was a closed session, Greg?
No, I didn't.
If it was a ploy to rattle Malthouse, it worked. And after venting his anger on the Victorian media,
It's amazing how every month clockwork for 2 months you get help.
Malthouse then let it be known he was unimpressed by the Demons' visit.
I mean, if they want to play games and childish games, we'll live with it.
If they're uncomfortable with people watching them train, well, I guess that's their problem rather than ours.
The next week against Melbourne, we were just ready for it. The fact that the media commentary in the lead up to that was about Melbourne's scoring potential, their strength of their key forwards, made us more determined to say, as a team, we're going to squeeze the life out of them, make this really tough for Melbourne to get a good score on the board.
So we're just about set to go. This is first for football with 2 preliminary finals on the one day. And here we go. Goes wide to the outer side. Charles and Matera. Look at Matera! But it's Hilton who threads his way through some heavy traffic. McKenna catches him. Well done. Wilson right, but not very far. Ball corning in. Gets it across to Evans. High kick by Evans. This is going to be close. He's kicked it.
We're under no illusions. I mean, I think Schwartz and Ryan kicked 15 or 16 goals between them the week before in the final. So they had a fair forward line that we had to stop. Jimmy Stein's Brownlow medalists, Phoebe boys, Todd Viney, and they're a fair side.
Premiership player with Port Adelaide. A high kick the ball forward. What a mark by Eddie. And bang. Straight through. And they're going here. Brennan under
pressure from Brett Lover. Good chip by Charles. That's a goal.
The West Coast Eagles. Pressure on Steins, but Turnbull does well.
Certainly relieved once the call came that I got the chance to play Melbourne. I got lucky because it was Jim Steins and I got my chance to play against Jimmy.
Back by Neats towards the wing. Steins, no, Turnbull from the back. Great performance by Ryan Turnbull.
I knew Mick liked me running with him, and it was very evident on the day that when Jim came off, I came off, and when he warmed up, I'd run on the boundary line that way, he'd run the boundary line that way, and we'd meet at the interchange and the two rucks would come off and we'd go straight on. And so a role like that played into my hands pretty much and sort of secured my spot for that week at least.
High up towards the centre wing. Stronger taken by Guy McKenna. Manfield, as we said, on the ground and picking up a possession.
I certainly felt that I played my role. I remember thinking, hope I've done enough to hold my spot. Yeah, one of those waiting games.
Takes advantage of it. Kicking to half forward. He wants Eddie. They've got the runners there, Lewis. This could be the quick reply by Chris Lewis. Straight through the middle.
Being played at the Wacker, and Melbourne force it forward. Brett Lovett marks. He's got to kick a goal. And he does. Goal to Melbourne.
And they are back within striking distance. Melbourne, after looking in deep trouble early in the second quarter, they can now look to the second half with optimism.
After half time, we went into our mode that we knew what we needed to do and stop the opposition, and we were pretty brutal on them. We weren't going to pull up.
Mick was really strong on, like you want to create good habits and play the way you want to play, so there was no real liberties taken at the end of there. It was more, we're preparing for the next game, but we're going to finish this game strongly.
Lovell eventually forced to kick across the face of Roll. The ultimate prize is made Waring comes over the top. Gets underneath the drop line. It's very, very high. It's floating over the back. Brett Henry will get clear and pick number 4. Gets tackled but gets it away to Banfield. Which way will this one bounce? Henry again! 6 goals to Brett Henry.
The ball knocked away, but not far enough for Melbourne's sake. And Sumic hooks the kick and it bounces through for another goal for the West Coast. Kicks it to Turnbull. Turnbull approaching centre half forward. Bombs away to the goal line. It's a mark taken by Paul. He will get his second goal. There's the siren.
But the West Coast Eagles, they've got the fans going here at the Wacker. And Daly Lover repeated 92 as Jakovic puts his hand up and says 1 to go.
Welcome to Seven Sports' live telecast of the 1994 Grand Final Parade down Swanston Street in the centre of Melbourne, and the city has come to a standstill for the parade of Geelong and the West Coast Eagles, the combatants tomorrow in the Grand Final at the MCG.
The footy fever that takes over Melbourne is amazing in itself, and we had huge support from West Coast fans that had made the journey across. To see a city pretty much come to a standstill was an amazing moment.
Once we got to Melbourne, it was fantastic. Doing that parade and everything, and that's when it really hit home. We're here.
I think we just embraced it even more now that we knew what it's all about. This is our third one that we're going to. So there's all the fanfare, you just got to get it done, embrace it, but just stay quite focused on what we're here for without overthinking the game.
And out on the roadway, here's Dipper.
Thanks very much, Drew. Well, we have the coach and the captain of the West Coast. Mick, I couldn't sleep in last night.
You got in pretty late, Dip, so we've had our training session this morning, so it's been a pretty hectic sort of first few hours, but we'll get this over with and we'll get home and we'll get to the hotel and have a bit of a breather.
Captain, how you feeling?
Yeah, good, Dipper. Yeah, enjoying it, mate.
Now, when do you get out of your Clark Kent uniform and become that tough man?
Well, I've got a job to do tomorrow, so I'll be doing my best.
All right, mate. Good on you.
Mick Malthouse, the coach, and John Worsfold, the captain. Well, they've been here as a team 3 times now in grand finals. They lost in 91. They beat Geelong in 92.
I'm listed as an emergency, so Mick had made his intentions clear about the first 2 spots on the bench, but the last spot was left a little bit open. I get to the Oval, we get pretty much changed, and then Mick calls the 3 or 4 of us into the room and then pretty much says, Ryan, you're in. It was a release and their nerves, it was everything all in one moment sort of thing, but it was like going, oh, thank God I'm playing in a grand final.
I just remember running out on the ground going, this is an incredible feeling. My memories go straight to those moments rather than the restless moments before.
It's hard to explain. The adrenaline, your adrenaline in your body, I felt loose as a goose. I just, like you're floating, and it was just, you just sucked it up. That's what we did, but that was just amazing.
We're a very tight-knit group, and we're all conscious in 1992 of the guys who had contributed really strongly to the team and weren't able to be out there on the day. We certainly felt like this is going to be special for all of us to have, in particular, Heinzie and Hardy part of a premiership with us all. So we didn't talk about it, but it was just there.
The West Coast Eagles, John Worsfold comes in, the two great captains here.
We still saw Geelong as a hugely talented team. That was going to be an unbelievably tough opponent. There was never any thought that we're favourites or all we've got to do is play to our best to win this. It was going to be, this is game on. This is going to be, the usual heavyweight clash that we always expected with the Cats.
We're up against a side that we had a great respect for and a great rivalry. We knew what needed to be done, and we had to stop the ball supply with Couch, Bairstow, Riccardi, Hocking. They're pretty good players. We were under no illusions we can't give these guys any looks at it, because if we do and take them for granted, then we could be in trouble.
Bounce of the ball for the 94 grand final. Hines got a good look at it, tapped it out, Pike almost the first.
Family in front, ball from behind, taken brilliantly by Evans, the first goal in the grand final.
Bangs it out wide, good take by Heady. Heady at 50 metres, centering kick for Lewis, he's got him. That's wonderful football. Brilliant play by the Eagles.
It was just on that first quarter. We got away to an okay start. I remember thinking, nice to get the first couple.
Hines in best position, Bond is on for the hand pass. Bond has got it 35 metres out, sharp angle, settles, kicks, he's got it.
Then Geelong got back into the game, and I just remember how intense it was. There was no time, no space.
Cyril looks for a free kick. Mitch's hands are quick, McCartney should goal. It bounces, it's a goal. And for Wills, who ran 150 metres to get that one.
Wills takes him on, gets by Worsfold, kicks from 35. Oh, great goal! Back to Henley. Used McGuire as a decoy. Now goes down the middle. Adlin in front. Works up his man, takes the mark, open goal. Gets it, Geelong in front.
Comes towards the boundary line. Brewer held up by Waterman. Kemp. Many touches in this opening term. Outside 50. Good kick to Heady. A beauty. Right on quarter time. Heady from 30 metres out. It's got it. What timing for West Coast in a quarter of fluctuating fortunes. It's 4-4 to 4-3.
Our attitude was everything we've done throughout the course of this year, from that moment we got knocked out in 93, was around being at our absolute hungriest and best when it counted. So the fact that we'd had a big arm wrestle in that first quarter meant let's just come out and match that or go another level.
Here's Hart running away with Geelong 4-5 to 4-3.
Kicks it to the wing. Waterman and Brewer, clever mark. Waterman runs on, down towards half forward. Awkward half volley for Heady. Did nicely, controlled it well. Got it to Evans. In front, Wilson. Cats by 2 points. That is a beautiful kick. Straight through the middle.
Zone defence for the first time in the finals have gone man on man today. Barnes front spot, Turnbull all over into the back. Kemp laid it off, Wilson from 50. Another very good kick, he's got it. Peter Wilson kicks two like that.
Mansfield arches the back and comes away. Kicks well inside the 50. Marvellous. We'll see that again over this weekend. Brownless finishes his good work. Will that lift the Cats?
Close to it, no question. Oh, look at this again. Evans chops it off. Subich is going to kick it over. Right, it's a good goal. It's not good enough, Geelong.
It was in a flat spot just before half-time against Melbourne last week. A O'Reilly towards the outer side, over the top, a terrific grab by Paul.
Towards the 40-metre mark, Brownless at the back. McIntosh, good mark. Bairstow, it's a hot moment for Geelong. Bairstow's kick not good, very poor. Gave it up to Kemp too easily.
Half-time at the MCG in the grand final, and the Eagles looking good. They lead 8-12 to 5-7.
The two coaches, Malthouse, just critically defensive in everything he does coach-wise, because that's how he played, back pocket player. And Malcolm Blight just said it's just all attack, because that's how he played. So that was their style in contrast. So when the defence works really well, then you can attack and you've got a decent forward line like West Coast had. It just opens up.
Riccardi in short, Wills provided the first lead. Hart chopped it off. Hamblin sets himself, hasn't been able to get off the ground. Hart loves this, doesn't he?
We absolutely nullified them, and that was Mick's DNA. If you ask Mick what the score was, he wouldn't care, but he'd know what the opposition score was.
4 goals behind. Here's Brewer's been quiet. Good tackle on him by Kent.
By Mansfield. Pickering. That was a very strong tackle applied by Wilson. Taken by Evans. The kick past half forward now. Ball runs onto it. Loose ball favours him. It sits for him 25 metres out. It's a goal.
We'd done that pretty much for the whole time Mick was there. It was a bit of taking away the opposition's strengths. Because it was more a one-on-one game back then, it was very much take away the opposition's best players and allow our players to flourish in that space.
Yes, it will.
One suspects Denison's going to be an exhibition from here on in.
The best form of defence is to have the footy. If we've got the football, we're defending that ball. If you've got the capacity to win the ball, you are defending the ball better than anyone else.
The centre wing. Ball sets himself. Hinkley from the side. Oh, Kemp read it beautifully, as he's done all day. Strides away with 3 bounces. Centering kick to Lewis. You don't get any better than that. Evans. High tackle. Matera. To Hart. To Turnbull. To full forward. Front spot, Warden. Eddie. He's kicked one already. Snaps. That's it, you'd reckon. You would say that was it.
Lewis to the boundary line. They stay off him. He settles and kicks it down towards full forward. Sumich going back on O'Reilly, and that's a very good fourth final against Geelong. From point blank range, he's got it. And you get the feeling this far from home it's all over.
Clearly we get to 3/4 time and I think we had 6 or 7 goals in front. And true to Mick, he was like, these blokes can score quickly, you know, they could knock 7 or 8 on us in a quarter. And I'm sort of looking across the Geelong going, I'm not sure those blokes are knocking 7 or 8 on us. So the last quarter was probably an opportunity to really enjoy how good that team was.
Now, this is Pike. Plenty of time. They'll contest about 20 metres out, waiting behind. It's grabbed by Warden, he gets another one.
Great tagger, but he finds space so well. Evans normally goes from this situation. He's got it. It's another one, his third. Oh, it's there. Here's Evans. To Kemp. At about 70 metres with a bounce. At 50 now. Oh, chips to Lewis. Not quite. Goal anyway. It's all happening.
Count running down towards centre half forward. Can kick a goal here. Long probing kick. Guess what? The defence.
Again, very good, hasn't he? We've basically given no credit to Brennan, but he's really had an outstanding game on Gary Ablett.
Brennan to Jakovic.
You don't want to go too early. You don't want to get too excited. And then I remember Mick coming down, and once he came down, you could sort of see that things were changing. It was about to be Premiership coach coming down. That's when you sort of go, okay, I think we're good to go here.
The fullback at the time kicks it out and basically kicks it straight to me.
Brown, bad kick, straight to Banfield. Banfield kicks it over his head and kicks a goal.
I still remember going, oh my God, I've just kicked a goal in the grand final. And the way the other boys celebrated it, I sort of thought, okay, we're doing pretty well here.
Footscray was the side. They won that afternoon against Richmond. And now a long road to the MCG and his second premiership. The Eagles are premiers for the second time in 3 seasons.
As soon as that siren goes, it's just this gigantic relief. You're wrapped for all the supporters, the players, the families, but this overwhelming relief comes about you because I think the pressure of that the whole year, and perhaps the years leading up to a final, does take its toll.
No debate. They have won in the
euphoria, sheer joy, delight. This is not just one game, this is a whole year and a pre-season on top of it. And it could be many years before that because you've had to work so long to get to that point.
You'd always hope for as a young kid to play in the ultimate game, and there it was, that split second that you realise you've achieved it.
It's just fantastic to see the guys. We've won the cup and just magnificent, you know. David Hart, David Hines, a few guys missed out in 92, and that was our motivation to let them feel this. This is a walk down memory lane, mate. This is what you take to your grave.
The famous photo of David Hart lifted up above the squad, that sort of highlights for us what it was all about. There was such a strong focus on the group, on those guys, that we were going to celebrate with them.
I thought my time was running out to get a premiership with the Eagles and to have that good year in '94 and the way things happen. And you know, you always play to win premierships.
Not a lot of people get that opportunity for redemption, and so that was wonderful for us. And I know that the boys really did support Juve and I through that journey.
What an honour to be part of this team. I guess every time you run into a '94 premiership teammate, the moment comes back.
I'm proud that I did it at this club with these guys and with Banners, you know, similar journeys.
It was probably just vindication of the era of the group, of the lads, the journey.
You played for the success, but you also played for the mateship that we still share, which is fantastic. You can feel it. We're fortunate as a club that that group, the pioneers really of the club, have set it up for generations to come.
There is nothing in football as good as playing in a grand final, and nothing better than the feeling of winning.